Hey, what is up everybody? Let me just get that screen quickly out of the way. Welcome back to the stream. We're going to be kicking off in just a bit with our semi-finals. We're just getting the teams ready on the side as we're going to be watching the boys from Unknown taking on, let's just take a look, just bear with me for a second. An Unknown versus Anonymous. So sorry for disappearing from your screen there for just a second. Guys, please, if you guys do want to chat or just want to find out a little bit of information, maybe find out what is going down here at the UCT LAN, please hit me up personally on Twitter if you want to, @HoldenZA, or you can hit up @ClanConnection or @ZombieGamer. We're not going to have a poll for the next game. That is the game that we're going to be streaming. Of course, we saw that was our first stream ever of Black Ops 3, and hopefully we're going to get a lot more going in the not too distant future. Not too distant future is probably within the next half an hour. So we're going to be kicking off with our map number 2. It's going to be interesting to see how I want to see Culden, Drew, and see how they do as teammates again. It's been a long time since we've seen those two players playing with one another. Don't take that out of reference, that little quote there, please. As we're going to be able to see the two players try team up here, I think it's more than likely that we're going to see that squad take on XF in the finals. So that game should be kicking off within the next 10 or so minutes. I've got to quickly just answer a question from Zombie, so I'll be back with you guys in a second. Make sure you stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. That was me just confirming that I could actually get into the lobby with the crew over from Unknown as well as Anonymous. So both of the names pretty much saying the same thing, but two completely different squads. So taking a look at the maps that we're going to be playing, we're going to be playing some Hardpoint on Breach, some Search and Destroy on Redwood, some good old Uplink on Breach once again, and then Evac, Hardpoint, and Fringe Search and Destroy. So that's our maps for today. I'm pretty much ready to go. Just giving the thumbs up to the gents over there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting South African esports, especially our local Call of Duty #CODZA community, as we're going to be kicking off with map number 1 any second now. As we hear that little tick-tock, and that means we're about to get ready to get into this game. So you're going to be able to hear a couple of the players in the background, so I'm just going to put game sound on mute for a second, as we're going to go straight into the picks and bans. Culden, Bartlett, we're waiting for him to make the first decision. Amosh today deciding, you know what, Vespa, let's get out of here. The M8A7 deciding to get protected almost immediately. Now it's up to Ken, Luke, and Brutality to make their decision. We've got the War Machine being banned out, the VMP protected by Brutality. So Protect's coming in from the boys from, I believe that's Unknown. Afterburner, that is going to be banned by Tiana. Frags are going to be banned by King Abu. Interesting choice to bring the Frag as well as the Semtex. That means you're not going to really need to see any flak jackets or any trophy systems being introduced here. Maybe it's going to be a concussion and a secondary grenade heavy game as we go into the specialist draft. So Culden Bartlett going to be able to pick up that Seraph Annihilator. That's a single shot pistol. Pillar. As Amosh going to be picking up the exact same thing on the opposite end. Ken Luke deciding to go with the Ruin on Overdrive. Brutality going to be picking up the Reaper with Scythe. Now let's take a look at Tiana as well as King Abu. Taking a look at the combination of Ruin. It's going to allow you to get to the hard point a bit quicker, but I don't know how useful that really is going to be. So let's maybe check how Ken Luke plays with it. King Abu, Firebreaker with a Purifier. Tiana picking up exactly the same thing. Ruin, Gravity Spikes by Drew. I really like that pick. It's the first Gravity Spikes that we're going to be seeing today. Method's going to be picking up the Reaper with that Scythe in hand. So taking a look at the draft, who did what. We've seen a lot of damage coming out from the boys from Unknown, with almost everyone deciding to go with their specialist weapons. On the opposite end, we've got Overdrive as the one unique specialist ability rather than a specialist weapon that will get picked up by Mr. Ken Luke. So this game's about to kick off. We've actually got a nice little spectator circle gathering around from the boys. That's a pickup squad essentially for today from Unknown. So it's going to be interesting to see how those two play off against one another. We're just waiting for the class to kick through. This is the semi-finals of the UCT LAN here down in Cape Town. If you're keen to try check out the finals, you're more than welcome to come down. It's pretty much an impromptu kind of casual getup. That's why you're not seeing too many fancy clothes. Team's actually not wearing kit today. This is all about just trying to get a feel for the game on LAN, trying to get that first instant out, and trying to get your first understanding of what might be slightly overpowered or what might be underpowered. So both teams now getting ready to get underway. A lot of anticipation going into the semi-finals. Of course, the winner progressing to the finals to take on either Zero Factor or Legion. Legion, of course, PlayStation-based team that has done well on the LAN so far. Is going to try hold their own here, as I've got front and center view of both of these teams, as we're going to be able to kick off Hardpoint on Breach. Let us know your predictions in the Twitter, or should I say on Twitter, so you guys can hit that over on @ClanConnection. And I believe we have a couple of tweets coming through. I'm not too sure. Big shout out to Concept Gaming, giving us a little love on this end, making sure that the links are spread and people are watching. I encourage you guys to all do the same, and if you have any questions, make sure that you can hit us up, or if you just want to do a casual chat. Unfortunately, cannot view the YouTube chat on the side, as I'll take you quickly through the squads. The boys from Unknown are going to be represented by Feardrew, Colden Bartlett, Brutality, and Tiana. Then on the other side, we've got Ken Luke, Methods, King Abu, and Amosh Sere, as two teams are getting ready to collide in this first hard point, based on the left-hand side of, well, it just depends on which side you look at it, but in that interior courtyard on in the middle of the map. So currently both teams relatively close with one another. Remember, when it comes down to hardpoint, it's all about trying to dominate certain sections within the map. Controlling a hardpoint will stop the clock on those certain areas, and currently it looks like the clock is slowly but surely ticking in favor of the boys from Fear. So let's take a look at what Ken Luke is going to be able to do inside the hardpoint. Managed to get some points back for his team. Will try to get some kills there, but unfortunately will get taken out there. Brutality picking up a kill of his own. We're currently on board with Methods, who will get taken out. So we cross over to Colden, who's doing some work on top of this middle section of the map. Will unfortunately fall down on top of that shack, as interestingly enough, Tiano decided to whip out that trophy system. That's going to stop any stun grenades. Pretty much is one of the only things that you can use, since grenades as well as Simtex got taken out, as well as EMP grenades, I guess, as trophy system managed to take out 2 grenades there before it becomes utterly useless. Tiana now just racking up points while his teammates. We're going to see a 3-player push here, and it looks like just like that Tiana will get taken out. Let's jump on board with the boys from Anonymous, as we are currently with Ken Luke. He does have that Pharaoh in hand, as they're trying to protect this hardpoint. We'll be able to pick up the kill. 3 kills in quick successions from the boys from Anonymous, as it's going to be 46-36, as Anonymous slowly but surely creeping up on the point difference. And here we go. The rotation is about to be called in, and this is where Ken Luke is going to try use his ruin effectively and post up a position. So I actually like that. Really nice play by him, using that effectively to get into the hard point and almost catching off guard the boys from Unknown. Ken Luke, however, will fall down to the gunfire of Brutality, as it's currently very, very tight between both of these teams after we reach around about 100 points in the hard point. That's around about a minute and a half, maybe 2. And we're currently on board with Colden Bartlett, who's just posting outside the hard point. We'll be able to get a good kill with that M8 in hand. Ooh, will get taken out almost as soon as he picks up that first kill. Brutality now holding another hard point for his team. VMP auto in hand, and looking to be contested, but his teammates Methods going big on the opposite end of the pitch though, as a hard point does get contested, and that's going to be Methods running in with that pistol in hand. Will be able to pick up that kill. Does have that M8, and unfortunately for him will get taken out. Alright, so as the rotations happen towards the next hard point, the first ones in there are going to be the boys from Fear. Oh shit, jeez, I did get that completely wrong. The boys from Unknown, as it's a couple of old Fear players, and we've also got Tiana from Vinco and Brutality. I'm not too sure what Brutality, I think he's playing for Vinco at the moment, so it's a little bit of a mashup squad. And as today is all about just testing out LAN, of course everyone loves the bragging rights of winning the first LAN, and that's what it's all about here today at UCT, as we're getting some of the best teams, only now Final Four teams, as we've seen a big two-piece coming up there by Brutality within the hard point. 96 points, only 20 points separating the two teams as we reach around about the 3-minute 57 seconds mark as the clock does stop when players inside the hard point, and Brutality now using the scythe to clear the hard point. And it makes it so difficult from a defensive side when you're trying to come up against that scythe just when it comes to get broken. And it looks like hardpoint currently getting contested. Methods does have that hardpoint, or should I say the scythe in hand. We'll be able to pick up the first kill. Ooh, and will get eventually taken out. So that it's going to be up to King Abu. And looks like he will also get taken out. Love that name. I've got to be said. King Abu reminds me of Abu from Aladdin from when I was a youngster. I will show you the world. Sorry, that was really terrible. So at this point, 50 seconds now, almost a full hard point in favor of Unknown, as it looks like Anonymous are struggling to keep up at this point. EMP grenade coming out, as that's going to interrupt Tiano's interface, if we want to get technical about it. As slowly but surely, points still ticking in favor of the boys from Unknown. If we take a look at who's doing what, Tiana obviously doing a lot of the objective role for his team. 1 minute 27 seconds inside the hard point. Take a look at who's getting the kills. Brutality, we've seen him come up with double kills inside that hard point, and trying to clear it out once again. But Tiana and Drew managing to do a majority of the work, as it looks like Brutality is going to face himself into a gun challenge and will take out his opposite number with that VMP in hand, and will be able to pick up the second kill as Drew takes out his teammate. Actually took out Brutality there, and trying to get some kills of his own. Just saying, hey Brutality, stop killing everyone, I need some kills for myself. And deciding to take out his teammate there. 166 points to 92 currently in favor of Unknown, and it's got to be said, it's running away from the boys from Anonymous. Let's take a look at what they're doing. The player with the most time inside the hard point is King Abu, and now managing to do exactly that, picking up the dirty points on this middle courtyard before hard point rotates, and it looks like the early rotations going over to the boys from Unknown. King Abu managed to pick up a big kill there, and a second, that's going to give him the opportunity to pull into the hard point, and only 25 points away from the Cerberus. Will be able to pick it up, and that's going to be playing into his advantage. He just needs to try use that right now. He really needs to try get these points. So not a bad decision, but he doesn't really have a throwing position to work from, as a big kill coming out there. Can't seem to take him out. Abu looking so strong, and unfortunately just then, but bringing things back for his team, will bring out this, deciding, you know what, wait a second, wait a tick, and deciding to hold back. But I've got to say, I really love that work from Abu inside and around that hard point, becoming a very difficult target for himself, should I say for his opposite number to take down. So let's take a look at the opposite side. It's Brutality. Now just watching rotations. You know what, we're going to give up that hard point, make sure we can control the next 50 seconds or whatever we can out of the middle hard point, as currently in control, or should I say in favor of Unknown, as it looks to be contested by Brutality, who will get taken out here. Now Tiana inside the hard point will find himself getting taken out by, I believe that was Methods. So Methods doing some work in and around the area, will be able to pick up the kill. So important kills now going in favor of the boys from Anonymous at the moment. Methods coming out with huge kills. Cerberus, that's going to be very difficult for the boys from Unknown, should I say, to try to take that out. And Fear Drew trying to gain control back into his hands, will be able to do exactly that. Now knows that he needs to push up outside of the hard point to try and maintain control, and it looks like just like that, as he gets pushed out, opposite numbers, Amosh going to be able to get once again the scrap points and the hard point. But now it is only a 20-point game between both of these teams. Very, very close. With 3 minutes on the clock, we still have a lot of game to play. Sophia Drew coming up with a big kill, but eventually will get taken out. Hard point currently in favor of the boys from Anonymous. Let's get on board with probably one of the most exciting players for the Anonymous team for me thus far. It's got to be Mr. Abu with that VMP in hand. Oh, and will get taken out. So it looks like just in the nick of time, the boys from Unknown are being able to turn this around. Scores tied at 200 apiece. The next 50 points will win it. So each point is going to be vital from this situation. And it looks like, just like that, the boys from Unknown managed to regain control. But last 10 seconds, looks like the dirty points are once again going to go over to the boys from Anonymous. As only a couple of points separate. Let's see who gets the early rotations here. It's going to be Unknown with the early rotation. Tiana now going to face some heavy gunfire and needs to try stay alive here for his team. This is going to be vital for his squad. Managed to hold down tight. Will not be able to pick up the kill, and this is going to give the opportunity for the boys from Anonymous to try and push through, and just like that, this is where your true grit shows through and your true determination to try pull up a big game in the semi-final of this hardpoint. And it looks like 10 points are just all that the squad need from Unknown, and they should be able to control this one. And with 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and just like that, we've got a couple of seconds left for the boys from Anonymous to try get this one back, and just like that, it's going to be Unknown, but being very, very challenged at this point on, and it's going to be a very interesting search and destroy. I can't wait to get into it. But the first map going over to Unknown, and that is the squad composed out of Brutality, Drew, Calden, as well as Tiana. The boys originally from, well, not all originally from Xbox, but coming from that side and doing relatively well for themselves. 44 and 27 for Brutality. 6,125 score shows that he was doing a lot of work inside and outside of the hard point. Got to say, he's probably the man of the match when it, or should I say the man of the map when it comes down to that map. We're going to be crossing over to map 2 in just a second. Stay tuned. I believe we're going over to Breach, Search and Destroy. I will be back with you guys in a second. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the action. We're about to kick off with map number 2. It's Search and Destroy. We're getting straight into the specialist draft. Unfortunately, we missed out on the bans of the weapons, as well as I think I saw M8 banned and somewhere included there. Grenades were also banned. And taking a look at our specialist draft, we have the Seraph Annihilator being picked up on both sides. Reaper Psychosis being picked up by Methods. Battery with Drew. He's going with the War Machine. Tiana is going to be using that active camo, very handy in Search and Destroy. King Abu going to be taking the Prophet Tempest, very interesting choice. I'm not too sure if I like that pick. I always think the Tempest comes into his own when you're playing more respawn game modes where your opposite numbers are really grouped up, and the only game mode where we rarely see that happen a lot is Hardpoint. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays that. Ken Luke going to also pick up the active camo. Other side of the field, we got Brutality picking up the glitch. Let's see if he's going to be able to make any big plays with that. I want to find out your guys' predictions. Please hit us up on Twitter at Clan Connection or at Zombie Gamer. And you can also hit me up personally if you have any questions or just any comments or whatever you want to say. And please do so by going over to at HoldenZA. So taking a look at the game thus far, really close hard point between both of these teams. Saw a huge comeback from the Anonymous crew, and they're definitely not a squad that you want to rule out. And they came here looking serious. They want to do some damage on a couple of the bigger known teams or the bigger known players, maybe knock down their confidence a bit for the season ahead. Taking a look at the boys from Unknown, maybe a bit lucky. They needed to come up clutch with a couple of kills, did so. Is that maybe a test of experience? Yes, no. Undecided at this point. But when it gets down to Search and Destroy, completely different game. I think Search and Destroy, historically for me, it's the game mode that does require the most skill. You need to outthink your opposition. You need to constantly try be a step ahead, maybe recognize what patterns they're going through, and you need to do this on the fly. And it's more mental game than anything when it comes down to Search and Destroy. So let's see how these two teams go head to head in this one. It is going to be interesting to see exactly how Drew decides to play with that War Machine as well. That's going to try maybe clear some corners. There are some spots where you can use a War Machine quite effectively in the Overwatch positions. So that's going to be something that the boys from Anonymous need to keep an eye on. As we're going to be kicking off. This is Search and Destroy on Redwood. It is Unknown taking on Anonymous. But by the end of this, it is not going to be unknown about who's going to be the one proceeding through to the finals, as we've got this game to decide it. Not necessarily this map, but this match as a whole. As we're going to be seeing these two squads go head to head now. So let's jump on board with the attacking team. The defending side is going to be the boys from Unknown. So let's go over to Methods M8, who does have that M8 in hand, and let's see what he's going to be able to do. So almost immediately, it looks like the boys are going to be going for an A push. Methods decides to try watch the flank here. As King Abu going to be able to pick up the first kill of the game on Culden. Culden, I believe, gave the call out saying they all here, so that's going to be a big call out for his squad. Brutality will get taken out. 4 players all still alive here, as the bomb does get rotated. Very interesting choice here. And just like that, the first round will get picked up by the boys from Anonymous, and that's going to almost instantaneously put the boys from Unknown on the back foot. So early push, early kill. The strange thing for me there was when Anonymous did push, they got that kill, but they didn't push the search and they didn't push the bomb side, should I say, immediately. Sorry, I will put on game sound. I do apologize for that. As we're currently on board with Culden, and it looks like an A push is once again in store. Trophy system does get thrown out. Ken Luke will get shots fired on Drew. And picks up the second. The bomb has been dropped. And just like that, you hear the celebrations going on in the background. That is the boys from Anonymous getting hyped, getting going, and clearly taking momentum into their favor. Ken Luke coming up big there for his squad. Alright, once again sticking with the attacking team. Let's get on board with Ken Luke. See what he's doing from his perspective. Really doing well for his squad. Halfway through to getting his specialist, which is active camo. Looks like a B push might be installed here. They don't spot out any players just yet, but it looks like they're about to get aggressive any second now. As a Mosh will get taken out. Let's jump over to King Abu. No, Ken Luke is furthest forward. Doesn't spot anyone at the bottom. Deciding not immediately to go for that trophy system. Now he's all by himself. Lonesome Ownsome. Taking things slowly. But does find himself under fire. And now getting surrounded from both angles here. And just like that, will get taken out. That's one round now going in favor of Unknown. Much more calmer between the two teams. It seems like the boys from Anonymous getting hype after every round, getting up off their chairs, getting excited. Whereas Unknown remaining calm. They realize that they're behind. There's a lot of rounds still to play. So I want to climb on board with Drew here. Does have that RK5 in hand. Decides to jump right over the river. Whips up that sniper rifle. Not spotting off anyone just yet. There is a player on his left hand side though. And that's going to be Tiana trying to push him. He does back off quite quickly. And that's going to be Brutality picking up a kill there on a Mosh, bringing things to a 2v4 situation. Bomb does look to be planted here from the boys from Fear. I mean, from Unknown. I do apologize. Bomb is down and it is 2v3. Let's jump on board with King Abu, see what he's doing from his position. Will miss a couple of shots. King Luke, on the other hand, will get a kill. No, but that's going to take a little bit of pressure. But remember, you're facing a really packed lineup of a 3v4 situation. And maybe it's all about staying alive for King Abu at this point. And unfortunately, we'll walk right down into the firing line, or should I say firing sight of Drew, who will be able to come up with a kill there. And there we go, Drew picking up that kill, bringing things to a 2, all on the search and destroy. And now it is going to be up to the Anonymous crew on attack. It looks like they're going to stay with what they know, and they're going to be pushing down this right hand side. This tree is very, very difficult to try and get past, as I think that's a smoke grenade that does get thrown out. And that's going to push the boys back from Unknown. Amosh deciding, you know what, I'm going to take the sneaky but safe route, and decides to just trail all the way on his stomach, trying to push his way forward here. Currently all 4 players alive from both squads. King Abu on flank. Methods also watching the flank. Well, Ken Luke decides to push forward now. It's going to be Amosh. Maybe should have used that moment to try push up for his team. Doesn't spot out anyone just yet, but you know what? You don't want to be in this position. Why are you in this position? You've got a VMP in hand. Drew will pick you off with a sniper rifle. In that position, you've got long lines of sight. You've got a VMP in hand. You either need to try rush your opponent and use your SMG effectively, or you need to just back off and try rotate. And not doing either one, and just decide to stick there. Methods will go down in a hail of gunfire. And just like that, this is the first time that Unknown are leading in this search and destroy. So taking a look at that play again, we had one of the anonymous players down there on the ledge. He managed to get himself into a position where he could use the cover to rush effectively. He had a VMP in hand. I'm not too sure about his decision there to pretty much just hold back. So Brutality going to go underwater as Drew will get taken out, bringing things to a 3v4 situation. Brutality now getting up in the face of Ken Luke and will be able to pick up the kill. And then jumps up and picks up a second there. Big plays. Does have glitch and will eventually go down. Colden Bartlett in a 2v2 situation. Bomb does get picked up by Tiana. Colden will go down, so that should give... I'm not too sure if they're just miscommunicating at this point, but that should have given the opportunity for Tiano to maybe try rush in since his opposite number was damaged, but now he'll take some life, and boom, Tiano actually using that quite well and effectively plays it off. Maybe she try and go for a rotate here since the player is going to double back to the bomb side. And good play by Tiano, coming up big, high fives his teammate and gets a little bit loud. Calls out baby as finally it looks like the boys from Unknown are giving their turn to try and get excited. And let's cross over to the attacking team from the boys from Anonymous. They need to try pull this one back and try pick up exactly where they left off when they started losing a spree of rounds. And it looks like Method's going deeper underground, or should I say underwater. We'll throw out a stun grenade, will not connect, then the Semtex. Just as much luck as the stun grenade had, and using that cover effectively, King Abu, as well as Method's picking up some big kills there. Looks like the bomb will get planted. Brutality now in a 1v4 situation. We'll pick... Oh no, will not pick up the first kill. So bringing things back to a 4v3. Or 4-2-3 should I say. Alright, so we're stepping into round number 8, I believe we are in. And we're currently on board with Colden Bartlett, who is going to be pushing down the middle of the map. Grenade will get thrown out as we're going to see a confrontation right in the middle, and boom, just like that, Colden Bartlett will pick up the first blood. Amosh will also get taken out there, so it's going to be a 2v4 situation. Bomb does get planted on that B-bomb site. Or looks to be planted on the B-bomb side, I do apologize. Ken Luke trying to do some damage there, but just getting hit markers. King Abu now trying to come down on the right-hand side. Doesn't spot off anyone just yet. Doesn't realize that there's a player on his left-hand side. And, ooh, just gets taken out. Drew will be picking up the sniper rifle shot on his opposite number. And just like that, the boys from Unknown are 1 round away from clinching the search and destroy map number 2 of this UCT LAN Semi Finals. It's currently in favor of the boys from Unknown. Okay, so let's go to the attacking side. And I want to go to King Abu. Maybe he hasn't got so much attention in the search and destroy just yet, but managing to be only 1 of 2 players in his team remaining positive. Trophy system does get thrown out. Electromagnetic interference, isn't that a mouthful? As the EMP grenade does get thrown out and effectively blocked. Brutality falls off the map. So King Abu managed to get himself on that bomb site, so really needs to try and make the most of this. It's a really good position for him to be in. If he's got a teammate on on one of the bridges. He should be good to go. Method's picking up a big kill. Fear Drew now coming from the flank, so looks like big kills coming up here. So 5-4 currently in favor of the boys from Unknown, but Anonymous not standing down just yet. They want the second map just as much as the opposite teams, and they managed to make themselves known as a little bit of a comeback squad so far, and let's see if they're going to be able to do that in this map number 2 here. So we are once again on board with Colden, but let's go over to Tiana. I want to see what he's going to be able to do, as he does has that VMP, does have bomb as well. We're pushing down the left hand side. We'll spot out his player and we'll be able to pick up the kill. Oh, big kills here by Tiana. Oh, and just like that, 5-5 on Search and Destroy. We've got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. So the next round will decide who picks up the Search and Destroy and who will be progressing through to the finals. So King Abu does have his specialist streak in hand. Taking a look at the boys from Fear, all of them without. So King Abu lucky not to die there. So just spotting out that running route down the bottom of the big tree. Methods just watching the flank. Amosh now trying to slowly edge his way forward. 40 seconds left on the clock. The players have got to be feeling it, as it looks like we'll have a trade on kills, but on either side of the map, 3v3 situation. Oh! King Abu takes out Amosh. Oh, this is going to be tense, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very tense, as it looks like his Methods all by himself. Comes up down the flank. We'll be able to pick up the first kill. Oh, and just gets taken out. Big, big, big plays there, as it looks like just nick of the moment. And it's the boys from Unknown who managed to clinch it in the final seconds of that Search and Destroy. Great game between both of these teams. We're going to be moving over to Uplink in just a second. Make sure you stay tuned for that, as we're going to be playing that on, I believe it is Breach. Yeah, we're going all the way back to Breach, as Tiana gets that all-important final kill there. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back with you guys in a second. You're watching the UCT LAN, the semi-finals, and the winner of this will, I believe, face Zero Fracture in the finals. So stay tuned. Alright, crossing over to our pick and ban phase, we've got the Vesper that has been banned by a Mosh. M8 being protected by Brutality there. Tiano deciding to ban, I believe that's the frag grenade. No, he decided to ban rapid fire. Interesting choice by him. King Abu deciding, you know what, put that pin back in that grenade, deciding to put that to the side. EMP gets banned by Ken Luke. Afterburner deciding to be removed by Colden Bartlett. And it's up to Methods and Fear Drew to make the last two decisions before we go over to that specialist draft. Annihilator, something that gets used so often, will get removed by Methods, I believe that was. And Concussion Grenade. So there's no slowing down once you've got that that ball in hand. So going to be very difficult. I'm not too sure if that's going to play out. It should be a fast game. That should be said. It's definitely going to be a fast game between both of these teams. Taking a look at the specialist draft, we got Brutality picking up the Reaper with the Scythe. A good choice, especially if you want to try dominate areas of control, especially on breach uplink. There's a lot of good rooftop positions. We can overlook the courtyard where the ball does get reset. That's where I'm most likely expecting the Scythe to be used. We've got the glitch from Amosh. Very interesting with the glitch on uplink. You can juke your opposite numbers quite heavily. Go and look at the Tempest Prophet. I've already given my thoughts on that. As we take a look at Overdrive Ruin, very big good pick. I really like that by Ken Luke. I apologize for that. As Overdrive also being picked up by Tiano, it's almost a necessity when it comes down to uplink to have one player with Overdrive in hand. Colin picking up Reaper. Drew taking up the Prophet with Glitch. And Methods closing things off with the Scythe. So very similar picks by both teams. The major difference between the two would be King Abu and Colden Bartlett. Colden is taking Psychosis, whereas Abu is going to be taking up that Tempest. Alright, you haven't lost me just yet, as the teams are just getting their classes set up here. This is map number 3 between Unknown and Anonymous. It should be a good game between both of these teams. We've seen really close comebacks, and now will the boys from Anonymous be able to come back with the biggest potential turnaround for their team, as Unknown have looked good so far. And to be honest, myself, I'm not that familiar with the Anonymous squad. I've seen a couple of them in public lobbies every once in a while. I see Oaks and pickups. They're good players. They're good players, and they've proved themselves thus far to be. I mean, they've just been there or thereabouts when it comes down to competing against the boys from Unknown. All respected players in their own right, on the competitive scene at least. So score streaks have been edited, and we're about to kick off in this game in a couple of seconds. Please let me know your predictions of who you think is going to be able to move on to the finals. The finals should be a great game, and I really hope you guys stay tuned for that. It is going to be kicking off in around about an hour or so. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break. I need to get this voice a little bit rested before we go into the craziness that is the finals. So we're going to be kicking off with map number 3. It's Breach, potentially going to be going over to evac on Hardpoint, and then Fringe on Search and Destroy. But let's take a look at who's going to be able to do what in this Breach on Uplink. It is the boys from Cape Town going head to head here at the UCT LAN. As representing Anonymous, we've got Ken Luke, Methods, King Abu and Amosh. And the boys from Unknown, Fear Drew, Colden Bartlett, Brutality and Tiano. 2-0 currently in favor of them on map count, but it has been a close game between both of these teams. So let's kick this off It's uplink on breach. Alright, so taking things underway. Looks like 2 early kills going, or should I say make that 3 kills going early in favor of the boys from Anonymous, as Methods will be able to pick up that ball in hand. We'll face some gunfire. Decides, you know what, I'm going to change my direction, maybe wisely so. As he runs through the courtyard, we'll face some gunfire and throws it in for a solid capture for his squad. Really good play by Methods as he picks up a 2-piece almost immediately after that. It looks like, and eventually will fall down. Ken Luke now in the middle of the map. We'll put some heavy damage. Remember, when you do pick up the ball, you will get that little bit of an armor bonus. So now moving through the lower courtyard. Ooh! I love that play! Almost due to his opponent doing a 1-2 up against the wall and picking up the ball and almost running that in. Actually giving it over to his teammate, but I really do like that. As Ken Luke now tries to continue the spree from the boys from Anonymous, as it looks like they are going into this game strong. King Abu coming up with a big kill here in the middle of the map. Does have that M8 burst in hand. Colden and Bartlett will be able to pick up the kill. And does go down as the glitch does get used. Drew managed to pick up a couple of kills of his own. We'll get that ball reset into the middle of the map. And we'll go down to Methods as Brutality now pushing down this right-hand side. And will fall down in a hail of gunfire to King Abu, who has looked very, very strong today. Methods now taking higher ground while his teammates go low. I like the tactic of sending too high, too low, as King Abu picks up 2 big kills and get a capture in hand. So 4-0 currently in favor of the boys from Anonymous, who are looking oh so strong on this uplink. Alright, so we're staying on board with King Abu. Currently 11-3. Trying to do some defensive work here. As the ball will get reset. So that's going to give the call out for him to go back to middle of the map. Brutality now trying to come through the side. Oh, and will get taken out there. So struggling a bit with the wall run as Drew does put down the ball on the left-hand side of the map. Tiana comes up with a big kill in the middle, but will get taken out there by King Abu. There we go. Calder Bartlett now needs to try re-establish some kind of control for his team. One minute 30 seconds left on this first half. And taking a look at it, it looks like once again... Oh, here we go. Brutality managing to get in 2 points of his own. And that's going to be very, very important for his squad to try regain some kind of momentum, try gain some kind of foothold on this game. As the Marsh will get taken out. So Calden Bartlett managed to pick up 2 big kills of his own. Will take a hail of gunfire from his opposite number. And eventually comes up big. Calden almost single-handedly taking out the entire team here. Methods doing some work on top. Will be able to pick up a big kill there for his team. Tiana trying to hold down things in the middle of the map. The ball still in the covered section of the other side. Will get thrown over. Tiana will be able to pick up the ball. Decides to try walk into Palace, but unfortunately will get taken out. So 35 seconds left on the ball. Colden now with the ball in hand. Will go down there. So let's see if Amash is going to be able to come up big here. Ball's now in hand of his opposite number. It's all about trying to run this one in. Trying to go big here. Oh, and gets taken out. Maybe should have used the side of the building instead of the side of the wall. And it looks like as we reach half time, things will close off 4-2 in favor of the boys from Anonymous, who are high-fiving each other. They're getting amped, but we've still got a whole second half to play here. Alright, so second half, Unknown 2 points behind, not too bad. It's just one capture or two throws. But they're facing a relentless team here from Unknown, as it looks like the ball will go in the hands of Ken Luke. He will drop it and almost immediately trade that over to Brutality, who will get a satellite carry here. He now needs to get some running room made for him, as just jumping over, trying to get a sight here. Does throw that ball over. It's going to get picked up and reset by Methods. Deciding goes for a reset. If you guys aren't familiar with uplink, if you do throw the ball out of the map, the ball will once again get reset into the middle of the map, which is in the hut right in the middle here. And just like that, Brutality managed to pick himself up a big kill and should give his teammates a little bit of running room to work with. Here's Drew, now with the opportunity to get 2 points on the board. Throws it in for the one. Oh, maybe could have gone for two, as Brutality picks himself up a two-piece. Ball does get passed. And there we go. Just like that, things get tied up between both of these teams. And here we go. Tiana picks up the kill, deciding to wait for the last second to use it. Ball currently in favor of Ken Luke's hands. Trying to push down through Palace on the right-hand side. Decides to go for the reset. You know what? He's not going to risk anything. He just wants to try get some map control once again. So scores locked up at 4 apiece with 3 minutes left on the clock. It's anybody's game, ladies and gentlemen. Both of these teams love to stay within touching distance of one another, and it looks like can't be separated at this point, as the ball will get picked up here. It's Tiana with ball in hand, trying to get his teammate to try get some kills. A huge flank coming up here from Drew as well as Brutality, and it looks like, there we go, Calder managed to come up with a big kill. Tiana gets a kill, managed to get a score there for his team. Now it's all about the reset. The ball does get picked up here by Ken Luke, who's got a little bit of running room, but he needs to try and pick up this kill. Does exactly that. Now trying to push up through. Will he be able to come up with the 2 points? No, he doesn't manage to do that, so he will get the ball reset. And just like that, these two teams are once again going to have to go at it. So, trying to find the ball, I am, as the ball is currently on that far right-hand side of the map. Tiana trying to watch through the top there. Very, very edgy from both of these teams. It's Calden Bartlett as well as Drew managed to come up with 2 good kills here. And the ball is currently in the middle of the map. Tiana will take some damage. And that's King Abu doing some great work with that M8A7 in hand. And there we go, picks up a kill. Ball has been picked up. Here's Ken Luke. Will he be able to run this? Has some decent guards next to him. And throws it in for a 1-pointer. And that's going to give them the lead here. 7-5. With 1 minute 12 seconds left on the clock, it's a nail biter between both of these teams. King Abu will be able to pick up the kill, and he's going to need to try pick this up here. Drew comes up for the smash and grab, but unfortunately being unable to do so. And Brutality now trying to work his way into the middle of the map. The ball does get reset, has an opportunity to pick up some big kills, but doesn't manage to do so. 2 players going down from fear, as it looks like Drew is going to be the furthest one forward. Throws ball to the face, unfortunately not being able to connect with the second. Dirty balls to the face there, as Calden still has his psychosis in hand if he needs it. And they need to do something. They need to do it quick here. Brutality. Ball in hand. Oh, will get taken out there. Culden now has the opportunity to try push forward. Now Tiano. 13 seconds left on the clock. What's he going to do, ladies and gentlemen? What's he going to do? Needs to go in for a 2-pointer. Oh, gets the 2 points! And just like that, things get tied up between both of these teams. What a comeback. And Tiano just playing the clock there to the last seconds, making a huge point to prove for his team, and comes back, shows the experience, not rushing things, and slides through to bring things to overtime. What a game between both of these teams. Fuck's sakes. Alright, so overtime, it's all about the first team to try get points on the board. And it's all about the rush to try pick it up through. So let's see who does exactly that. As Tiana now pushing forward for his squad, as we're going to see some bullets traded out here. And Tiana, ooh, glitch does get used and turns around. Good use of glitch there, it has to be said. As the ball currently, I believe, in the hands of the boys. As no, it looks like he will get taken out there. As Kingaboo now needs to try to do some defensive work. Drew with ball in hand, deciding, you know what, he's going to try run this one. Oh, almost paid off there for Drew, trying to do a little bit of a passing game. But the call out does happen that he is on the left-hand side. He is trying to walk through these runs. So, decides to double back. The ball will get dropped and reset once again in the middle of the map. So 1 minute played. And both these teams still going at it as the ball does get reset. Tiano trying to come up big with some kills here. Ball does once again get reset. So Tiano doing really well in the middle here. So that's Drew with the ball in hand. I think he dropped that out of the map once again. So Tiana going to try hold this one tight. And now he's got some running boots on, and he's going to do exactly that. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Will he run this one in? Huge amount of defense here for... he's looking for protection. Culden coming up with a big kill. Brutality coming up with a big kill. Goes in for the 2-pointer, and just like that manages to score. 1 minute 51 seconds is the time to beat on the clock. Now let's see if the boys from Unknown can hold their nerves of steel. Let's see what they're going to be able to do here. As we do have a tight game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. As Matthew McConaughey, he would say, all right, let's take a look at what's going to happen here. Ken Luke in the hard point early, will get taken out. So a couple of kills getting traded out here, and it looks like the ball will try to get picked up. No one's picking up the ball. A little bit of confusion there from the Anonymous team. But Methods now trying to push through on this right-hand side, trying to get aggressive with the ball. Let's see if he waits just like Tiana did for the pickup. Oh, and the ball will get dropped. But some big kills coming up here. Amosh doesn't have a chance to try and push forward. And it looks like on the opposite end of the pitch, it's going to get reset. Ball once again getting dropped into the middle of the map. Brutality trying to chase him down. Will do exactly that, but will face some gunfire to the back of his head as 1 minute is on the board. And both teams are still trying to get at this one. Ball has been picked up. Big 4-player push coming through right now from the boys from Anonymous. Ball will get dropped, however. That's going to be Drew having an opportunity to try and pick this one up. 40 seconds left on the board. Slowly every second being felt within the stomach of each and every player from the boys from the Anonymous. As this heart beating, exhilarating, adrenaline pumping action will continue for both squads. As it looks like Drew has some running room and will throw it in for the 1 point. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the boys from Unknown progressing through to the finals. And going to be taking on the likes of Zero Fracture or Legion in the finals. Make sure you stay tuned for that one. Please, guys, I would really appreciate if you tweet the stream out. Make sure some other people know about it. Try get some of the COD ZA guys involved, or even any of your friends. We try to grow this community, and we really appreciate your support. So thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And make sure you stay tuned for the finals, which should kick off in around about 20 minutes. And we'll be back with you guys in a bit with that. We're just going to break stream for a second, and I'll catch you guys a bit later.